Hey, what's up guys? I wanted to do a book review for you. That's right, it's been a long time since I did a book review. This is not a hobby related book, this is actually a storybook. This is Gump & Co. And basically this is Forrest Gump Part 2. I love Forrest Gump. It is a classic movie. The movie came out in 1994. This sequel is basically what it is. It's Forrest Gump Part 2. Came out a year later. In 1995. The original book, which I did not read, the first novel on Forrest Gump, came out in 1986. So basically, Winston Groom, the author of this book, wrote Forrest Gump the story in 86, 94, made a huge movie. Obviously, we all know it, we've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it as soon as you're done watching this video. And then a year later, the sequel came out. Now, I never knew about this book until recently. Long story short, I went to a Salvation Army to check out, some clothes and stuff, and possibly for a totally different video, but I got a $7 suit, which is amazing. It'd be amazing for 50 bucks, but $7 can't beat it, right? But anyway, there was a bunch of books there. It happened to be like a half off day, so originally this book was like 44 cents, so I got it for 22 cents, right? Why not? Actually, I got a big stack of books. I got some really good finds. But this is one of them. I read the cover. Inside the cover, which by the way, a little something about me if you don't already know, I hate dust jackets on books. I don't know why. It bothers me the second I get a book, I take it off. I don't like it when I'm reading, it's flapping around. I know there's solutions to that problem. Just not my thing, I rip them off. So this book, I believe, is all white, with the dust jacket on it. But anyway, love Forrest Gump, the movie, who doesn't? And I figured, yeah, why not? I'll read the sequel, the second part of the book, Gump & Co., and find out where the story left off and what the future holds. It's basically the conclusion to Forrest Gump, which I was very curious in reading. Now, the dust jacket on the inside had a little bit about the author and stuff, and also had a little bit about just this book, critical, acclaim, blah, 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 whatever. I think it said Larry King found this to be the funniest book he ever read. I don't know what he's reading. It wasn't that funny to me. But as someone who's watched Forrest Gump and liked the movie, I would recommend this book. There's some things I don't like about it. The reason why I still recommend it is simply because of the fact that it's closure. If you like the movie and you want to know what happens after that, you'd want to read the book. I'd love to maybe see a part 2 as far as the movie's concerned. It's got to be Tom Hanks, though, of course. But yeah, it's just interesting to find out what happens. I'm not gonna do any kind of spoilers in this little book review, but I did want to talk about the book a little bit. The first thing that I found that I did not like about this book is it's a hard read, and what I mean is a hard read for me in that it's written exactly how Forrest Gump talks. So it's a lot of dialogue. The majority of this book is dialogue back and forth from Forrest Gump and different characters. There are recurring characters like Lieutenant Dan and of course his son and stuff like that. Talks to Jenny a little bit, in the afterlife, gives him advice, stuff, along those lines. It's really interesting. It follows obviously the same storyline as the original novel, in that he's a crazy character. He goes through all these different extremes, these different lives within a life. It's really fascinating. It follows the same theme as basically the first book and the movie. So that I did like. But again, what I didn't like is that, if you've seen the movie, it's how Forrest Gump talks. The way he talks, it comes out, blatant in this book, which is a good thing in how it feels, but it makes it a little harder to read. Like instead of ask, it says AST, because that's what he would say. It's like, this guy asked me a question or whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe I can randomly flip through and just read a little thing here for you. Just to give you kind of an idea. Alright, well good, because I done arranged for us to take a tour of the town these next few days. We is going to see all the sights. So, that just gives you a little taste of what it's like. So as you're reading it, it's a little bit harder to read because grammatically it's completely off and, spelling's completely different. But even though it's harder to read, at least it was for me anyway, I liked it. I hated it and liked it at the same time because of the fact that it gave me that same feel for the character of Forrest Gump. But it did make it harder to read. A smaller book like this, took me a few days. Because I kind of was skimming back and forth. Lately I've been reading before I go to bed, which is, I don't know, a good way to just make your eyes tired and make you help fall asleep faster. Let's see, 241 pages or so. Yeah, 241. you know, simple text. It's not super small, it's not super big. So I would say as far as like a reading level, I don't know, 6th grade on, anyone watching this video, if you're watching a YouTube video right now, you could probably read this book. So highly recommended if you want the conclusion, you want to find out what happens. A little bit hard to read because of the speech. It is mostly dialogue as opposed to just information about what's going on. It's a lot of Forrest talking to different characters. The one thing also that was strange to me, it's not something I didn't like, but it was definitely a surprise to me, is that Forrest Gump's character is very profane. There's a lot of profanity in this. There's a lot of him, not like, I don't want to make it sound like it's overly done, but he curses a lot. And when you watch the movie, he doesn't curse at all, or very little. I don't remember him cursing specifically. So the character's a little bit different. And at first, I didn't like it. I thought, you know, this isn't Forrest Gump's character. But then it kind of dawned on me that this was obviously the writer of the original story and the author, excuse me. So this is the Forrest Gump, the true Forrest Gump character. And obviously, it's been altered or changed a little bit to become a Hollywood movie. All right, so they basically made his character just a little bit brighter, a little bit more cheerful, a little bit more likable, you know, for the public eye, for the purposes of making a movie. So if you're super used to, you know, the Forrest Gump character and being sweet, nice and stuff, he gets a little grumpy, like I said, curses a little bit. It seems out of place. It doesn't seem like it's part of his character. But, you know, apparently that's truly who he is. It's just on screen, we didn't see that in the interpretation, you know, with the movie. So that was interesting. But besides that, I would recommend it. It's a random book, you know, for 22 cents. But I was very pleased. By the time I read the end of it, it was fun. Just like the movie, like I said, he goes through all these different phases. You get to maybe shake your head by the time you get to the end of this and go, really, after all that? But like I said, I don't want to give any spoilers away. If you're like me, you had no idea this book even existed. Now that I've read this, obviously I want to read the original Forrest Gump that came out in '86 and see how true the movie that really was. But it's cool as a Forrest Gump fan and a Tom Hanks fan. Actually, Tom Hanks is specifically mentioned in the book. But anyway, it was a cool read for me and a conclusion for the movie Forrest Gump. So if you're interested, check it out. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.